Maharashtra government announces Kanya Van Samruddhi Yojana. Maharashtra government announces Kanya Van Samruddhi Yojana to give free saplings, SAPLINGS, to give free saplings for plantation when a girl child is born. To give free saplings for plantation when a girl child is born. Kanya Van Samruddhi Yojana. Remember, to give free saplings for plantations when a girl child is born. So, empowering women and tree plantation. Empowering women and tree plantation both. So, when a tree sapling is given to a girl child, a tree will be planted along with the birth of girl child. At the same time, it is a good signature for welcoming the birth of a girl child. Next important news. According to Brookings report, BROOKINGS. According to Brookings report, Nigeria is a home to world's largest number of poor people. World's largest number of poor people. World's largest number of poor people. Nigeria is a home to world's largest. So 87 million people live in extreme poverty in Nigeria. 87 million people live in extreme poverty in Nigeria. 87 million people. Okay, next. A committee was constituted called Ravindra Dholakia Committee. Kindly identify how many people are living in BPL, extreme poverty in India, according to Brookings report. It is 73 million. 73 million. Just check it out. According to Brookings report, how many people are living in the poverty, extreme poverty. In Nigeria it is 87 million. In India it is 73 million. Check it out. Next, Ravindra Dholakia Committee was appointed. Ravindra Dholakia, RAVINDRA. Ravindra Dholakia Committee was appointed. Government forms a panel. Government forms a panel to upgrade norms for. Government forms a panel to upgrade norms for state, district level, district level economic data collection. State, district level economic data collection. Ravindra Dholakia Committee is a government panel to upgrade norms for data collection, economic data and other data collection from the states. A revised method so that we can calculate national accounts, we can calculate GDP, all these things, because calculation is not that good now. So, we have formed a committee called Ravindra Dholakia Committee. So, apart from that, you have 48 killed in a bus in Uttarakhand. There are 28 seats and 58 people are travelling in the bus. 48 people got killed in the bus. There are 28 seats and 58 passengers are travelling the bus, and it was actually fell into a gorge. The bus was fallen into a gorge. So unfortunately many people died. This is a very freak accident. And Uttarakhand, you all know, tourism, the roads, very narrow roads, landslides are very common, natural disasters are very common in Uttarakhand. So you have to remember that. Coming to the articles today. First article, risky recourse. Risky recourse. The article today is risky recourse. This article is related to IDBI Bank, Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI Bank. This year, that is 2018, the loss of IDBI Bank is 8,238 crores. The loss of IDBI Bank is 8,238 crores. 8238. And the NPAs of the bank is 28%. Non-performing assets 28. And Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDA. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDA. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDA, have approved LIC to purchase, to go up to 51%, to go up to 51% of stakes in IDBI. Up to 51%. Already LIC have 11% stakes in IDBI. Already LIC have 11% stakes in IDBI. Now it's going to purchase 40 more percent. Now total 51% stakes in IDBI. Here you should know a point. IDBI is in losses. It's a government owned, majorly government owned bank. LIC is the government owned insurer. LIC is profit making. It have regular income. It follows strict norms. The losses in LIC is very meager. Whereas IDBI is the most loss making unit now. An insurance company purchasing this, how far it is right? Public reposing lot of trust will go for LIC. This money, in what way they are going to get diverted? The modalities have not yet been known. The modalities have not yet been known. So in the last year RBI correction framework, government decided to sell some stakes in IDBI Bank. Government decided. Mismanagement always ends up things like this. Mismanagement of the bank. So how a bank can show loss of 8,000 crores, first thing. How a bank can show NPS to that extent, second thing. And third thing, diverting one insurance company's money into the IDBI Bank, how far it is right. And apart from that, if now can you again correct the things in IDBI? Is it possible? Again a question. Is it possible? Again say question. So this proposal is raising several questions. How to protect the interests and secure fair treatment to policymakers? How to protect the interest of and secure fair treatment to policymakers? How you are going to do that? So all these things is a big question. So think about that. Next important article is Bima Koregaon and the fault in our laws. Bima Koregaon and the fault in our laws. How many of you know Koregaon is a place in Maharashtra? Bima Koregaon is a place in Maharashtra. In this place, exactly 200 years back, 1818, this year is 2018, 200 years back means 1818, there was a war. On the one side, Maratha king Peshwa Bajirao II. On the one side, Maratha king Peshwa Bajirao II. On the other side, you have British army. Most of them are the Dalit soldiers. The soldiers who are Indians belong to Dalit community. Peshwa Bajirao II, most of the soldiers fought. They are all Brahmin community, and this community is Dalit community, and they assisted British army. And in the war, the Britishers won over the Peshwa Bajirao II. That means the Dalit soldiers fought very bravely against the Peshwa Bajirao II. And after that, this Bima Koregaon victory is being celebrated on every January 1st. Bima Koregaon victory is being celebrated on every January 1st. Bima Koregaon victory. And here On 2018 January 1st, there was a fight. On the particular area, in the particular issue, there was a fight. And the fight is between upper caste and the Dalit communities. Earlier, when B.R. Ambedkar was alive, he also used to visit to Bhima Koregaon. It is a symbol of bravery, valor and courage of Dalits. It is a symbol of bravery, valor and courage of Dalits. Coming back, in Bhima Koregaon on June, in the June month, this last month, 2018, 5 activists were arrested, lawyers or activists, under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, under an act called Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Okay, and now this is the background of the article. Let us come to the article. Professor K.T. Shah, a member in Constituent Assembly. When our Constituent Assembly debates are going on, you have to follow this article carefully. Professor K.T. Shah, when our Constituent Assembly meetings were held, he gave a speech, a strong speech. Only the autocrat and despot, means like a dictator. Only the autocrat and the despot has always wished, whenever he was bankrupt of any other argument, just to shut up those who did not agree with him. Only a person like a dictator, an autocrat and despot, who is bankrupt of words. Bankrupt of words means who cannot speak out because he did not have a best argument. He only makes other people to shut up and ask them not to argue. If any person have a valid argument, he will listen both the sides. Only the monarch, only when he is doing mistakes, only when he is a dictator, when he does not have words to speak because he does not have any argument, he will ask the others to shut up. Only the autocrat, only the despot who wishes to speak but who does not have any argument, he will ask. This is K.T. Shah. In what context Mr. K.T. Shah spoke these words? He spoke all these words on fundamental rights and the Indian Constitution. The chapter which we are discussing right now, the fundamental rights and the Indian Constitution. There is a debate. To what extent we can restrict our fundamental rights? Because fundamental rights are the rights of human beings and through which humans can excel in their life. Fundamental rights are considered as basic rights where individual can grow intellectually, socially, physically, politically and economically in all the domains with the proper rights. And as you all know, rights cannot be absolute. No fundamental right can be absolute. In the same way, you cannot guarantee an absolute right and uncontrolled rights in any civilized society. So rights cannot be absolute. But restrictions can be given. To what extent? To what extent? Here, with Public Safety Acts, Defence of India Acts, if you keep on restricting the individual, sometimes you may cull the basic human rights. You may control the democratic rights of citizens. So K.T. Shah is against providing more restrictions on fundamental rights. This was the introduction of the article. And with this introduction, the author led to the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, the author discussed about arrest of Dalit leaders who participated, who are involved in the Bhima Koregaon issue under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Unlawful Activities Prevention Act is considered as a draconian law, particularly against the terrorists and other people, and in this they have used that author is not agreeing with the thing. And author is asking a question, membership are actively participating in it, in any terrorist activity or unlawful activity, you can prevent. To what extent a man can be arrested under Unlawful Activity Act? And she also discussed about various things, Bill of Rights, Fundamental Rights chapter, civil and political rights. In no civilized constitution, such draconian laws will be allowed. And she also mentioned, the author also mentioned section 43D5, clause 5. Section 43D, clause 5, which prohibits court from granting a bail. Which prohibits court from granting a bail in the act. In the act. Because when the accusation is prima facie true, when the allegation under unlawful activity is true, it's prima facie true, you need not give bail. Bail is not granted. That is the thing. 43D clause 5. So this is the terrible situation in this article. And the other says liberty. To what extent it should be allowed? It should be allowed unless you hurt the liberty of others. It should be allowed to express your views. It should be allowed to express your views. And personal liberty in Article 21 is now very wide. The word personal liberty in Article 21 is very wide. You can enjoy your liberty without harming others to that extent. And the author also discussed about Article 22 of the Indian Constitution. Article 22 deals with not only rights of arrested person but PD laws, preventive detention laws. You can detain a person before any crime is committed. You can detain a person before any crime is committed. So all these things the author discussed and said, and there was the law is at fault and the arrest is at fault. Bhima Koregaon and the fault in our laws. The title itself, Bhima Koregaon and the fault in our laws. So she criticized Unlawful Other Activities Act, saying that excessive discretionary powers should not be granted under this act. Anybody cannot be arrested under this act. So the law allows lot many discretionary powers that should not be allowed. This is the meaning of the act. So democracy and rule of law should always be protected. This type of draconian laws, more discretionary powers, will take away democracy and rule of law. This is the view of the author. Okay. Next important article, Seychelles template. Seychelles template. SEYCHELLES. Seychelles template. New Delhi has clearly opted for a charm offensive. New Delhi has clearly opted for a charm offensive. Charm offensive means having a very good friendship, relationship or positive friendship, all those things. Now India wanted to make friendship with Seychelles, and Seychelles is an archipelago. It consists of 115 islands. It is in the Indian Ocean. Seychelles consists of 115 islands. It is in the Indian Ocean region. The problem is Seychelles, India have some trouble. Assumption Islands. In the Assumption Islands in Seychelles, India and Seychelles wanted to establish a joint base, naval base, where Indian military personnel also present. Where Indian military person should also be allowed to present. But Seychelles opposition is saying the bill for this military base is not being passed in Seychelles Parliament. The Seychelles opposition parties have not agreed for that. The opposition parties in the Seychelles have not agreed for that. You know the reason? It affects the sovereignty of Seychelles. It affects the sovereignty of Seychelles. So with this, India gave soft loan to Seychelles, where India Dornier surveillance, maritime surveillance aircraft, India is giving to Seychelles, and also $100 million aid is being extended to Seychelles to purchase military equipment from India. So these things. Let us see how Seychelles is going to have strong relationship with India and vice versa. And India needs this particular region, Indian Ocean region now, to counter China's string of pearls policy also. To counter China's string of pearls policy also. So India needs to show its prowess in the Indian Ocean region. And you know the Maldives incident, where Abdul Yamin government is not so favorable to India, and big tussle is going on between Indian and Maldives relations are at new low today. Now they are not in a proper position, that you know. Next important article is gearing up for space wars. Gearing up for space wars. GARING, gearing up for space wars. Donald Trump have announced that he is going to create space force. See, the wars in army, the wars in navy, the wars in air force. cyber force, everything is over. Now Trump wanted to have space force. Even American Defense Secretary and American Air Force is not so favorable to this. They want to create space corps, space force, and they are going to fight wars in the space. They are going to fight wars in the space. And the fundamental difficulty for this space forces, space war, is that physical environment in the space is not conducive to conduct wars. The environment in the space is not conducive to conduct the wars, is not so favorable to conduct the wars. And if you conduct the wars there, spacecrafts, debris, and how the space corps will live there, it's a very big question. It's a fundamental question, and you need to have spacecrafts which are fuel efficient, which can run for a long time in the space. And we need advanced technology. We need lot of advanced technology to conduct space wars, lot of training to conduct space wars. And American Defense Ministry and particularly American Air Forces are fearing that lot of budget will go for this experiment and research. They can see budget cuts and cuts on the ongoing missions, and this money can be diverted to the space forces. This is their contention. Apart from that, why America is thinking like that? Because China and Russia already proved their prowess in the space, already have very good stronghold in the space. In fact, American Space Force is direct counter to China. So direct counter to China. China is openly saying it is against weaponization of space. China is openly saying that it is against weaponization of space. Consider this word weaponization of space. You can make a 100 words answer on this. Weaponization of space. China is saying it is against weaponization of space, and China is strongly, dedicatedly working for space weapons. There is no doubt about it. To counter that, America is announced to start space forces. And implications on India. India till now does not have any space force. India already committed to PAROS, officially committed to PAROS, PAROS, underline. India officially committed to PAROS, PAROS, or the prevention of arms race in the outer space. PAROS means prevention of arms race in the outer space. This is called PAROS. India openly committed to that. But if America, China, Russia, if they all fight in the outer space, India has to increase its prowess in the outer space, because you should be very pragmatic in international relations. You should be very pragmatic in protecting the sovereignty of the country. You need not be too idealistic. నాకేం సంబంధం లేదు, నేను మంచిదాన్ని, నన్ను ఎవరు కొట్టద్దు, నేను ఎవరిని కొట్టనంటే కుదరదు. So you should be very pragmatic and practical in dealing with IR. So this is the thing. Next article, the dream of being an artificial intelligence powerhouse. Next article, the dream of being an AI powerhouse. The dream of being an AI powerhouse. Recently, Niti Aayog have released an ambitious paper on artificial intelligence and India. Recently, Niti Aayog have released an ambitious paper on artificial intelligence and India. Artificial intelligence, India should become a powerhouse or garage of artificial intelligence. And it said, in agriculture, healthcare, education, smart cities, infrastructure and transport. Agriculture, healthcare, education, smart cities, infrastructure and transport. India has to show its prowess in artificial intelligence. And the paper also spoke about how artificial intelligence can be useful for farmers, like how artificial intelligence can give extension services, best practices in agriculture to the farmers. Apart from that, artificial intelligence learns like human being. It will have something like deep learning. It will take lot of data. It will take lot of historical data and connect the data and try to learn to take decisions. Artificial intelligence means trying to take decisions like human beings. So what human brain can do, artificial intelligence can also do. So for this they need to have lot of sample collection. In this article, for example, to test whether the crop is good, to test whether the agricultural products are good or fine, one lab have prepared an artificial intelligence called Intello Lab, INTELLO. Intello Lab have prepared an artificial intelligence program with 2.5 million agricultural samples. See, artificial intelligence తో ఏదైనా ఒక డేటా తయారు చేసి దానికి అంత టెక్నిక్ కలగాలంటే కంప్యూటర్కి మనం దానిలో చాలా రీసెర్చ్ చేయాలి, చాలా శాంపుల్స్ కలెక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఆ శాంపుల్ సిమ్యులేషన్స్ అంతా ఇస్తే అప్పుడు అది దానిలోంచి ఒక డేటాని ఎలా ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయాలి, డెసిషన్స్ ఎలా తీసుకోవాలి దాని మీద చాలా శాంపుల్స్ స్టడీ చేసి అది చేయగలదు. అంతేగాని ఒకటి రెండు చూసి ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ అనేది అవ్వదన్నమాట. సో ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ నీడ్స్ బిగ్ డేటా, హ్యూజ్ డేటా అనమాట. దట్స్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ artificial intelligence will predict the power solar supplies, many things. And recently released report by Niti Aayog says only 50 Indian scientists carried out serious research on AI. Only 50 Indian scientists carried a serious research on artificial intelligence. And these scientists belong to elitist institutions, not normal institutions. All these scientists, the 50 scientists who carried on serious research, belong to elitist, not normal. And these are the issues. Very less people are interested in this data. So now, what is the time boundness to achieve the goals? Niti Aayog have not given time boundness. What is the funding and what is the time boundness for funding? Nobody knows. And what are the skills that is required for artificial intelligence and applied knowledge for artificial intelligence, and how you are going to develop the skills, and how you are going to attract public-private partnerships in artificial intelligence. There are many questions relating to artificial intelligence in India, but Niti Aayog is saying that is better to have very good artificial intelligence development in India. India should become artificial intelligence garage of the world. And the next article is nothing but, we all think that 21st century belongs to Eastern world. 21st century belongs to Eastern world, Asia. But the other is telling 21st century still belongs to Western countries. 21st century still belongs to Western countries because of the research, because of the education, because of the technology, because of the research, because of their education, because of the technology. 21st century still belongs to Western countries. And the last important article today, FDI growth hits 5 years low. FDI in India seems to pestering out with growth rates. FDI is 5 years low in India. FDI growth, page number 13, business page. FDI, foreign direct investment growth hits 5 years low. FDI growth hits 5 years low in India. We have a index called ease of doing business index. Manaki oka సూచిక ఉంది. We have an index called ease of doing business index. India's rank got improved. Last year it was 130, now it was 100. The ease of doing business index was given by World Bank. The ease of doing business index is given by World Bank. Last year in that our position is 130, now our position is 100. So we are better in ease of doing, we are better in minimizing the regulations. Still we are facing problems with FDIs. An UNCTAD report, UNCTAD, you should know what is UNCTAD. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. UNCTAD, UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. An UNCTAD report recently tells that FDI in India decreased to 40 billions in 2017 from 44 billion in 2016. 2016 is $44 billion. Now you have only $40 billion. This was really important. Sectors that received maximum foreign inflows in India: computers, software and hardware, telecom, trading, construction, automobile and power. Last paragraph of the article. Sectors that received maximum foreign inflows in the last fiscal includes computer, software and hardware, telecom, trading, construction, automobile and power. So remember this. Done. These are the important current affairs today.